Hi, happy Palm Sunday. It's Katrina. So excited to come on and share this second week of our series Undefeated with you guys. I figured I'd give this message outside because when do I get to say a message outside? Like, this is awesome. So isn't it crazy that next Sunday is Easter? Like, it's absolutely crazy to me, the fact that next week will be Easter. And I'm excited to see what different families and stuff come up with in order to make this Easter work and how to kind of still be together. So let us know how you and your family creatively find ways to be together on Easter and have fun together. So like I said, this is our series Undefeated. This is our second week. Last week, John kind of dived into what it feels like to be undefeated when you're separated. And that series fell in a perfect time at the start of this quarantine. And I just thought it was a great message to kind of understand what's going on and how God's going to work through us even through this feeling and time of separation. But this week, I want to dive into the word undefeated first. So I personally am undefeated in the game of hide and seek. I am an expert hide and seek player. I have hid in the same spot for almost an hour before without being found. I'm really good at getting quiet, and I'm creative with where I go and where I hide. So I've played hide and seek with my family. I've played it at houses I babysat. The one time I was hidden where I was babysitting, I took a picture of where I was hidden and I sent it out to the one I put on Facebook, and the mom said, "Oh, I know where you are," but the kids could not find me. It was so funny just being able to hide in there and not be found. And it felt great to be able to say I'm undefeated in the game of hide and seek. But even though the pure amount of joy that it brings me to talk about being undefeated hide and seek, I think we can respect that and understand that feeling because we know what it's like to be defeated, right? When you win a game 12-0, it feels great, but it feels great because you know or have an idea of what it feels like to be the 0. So I think knowing what it feels like to be undefeated, you kind of respect what it also means to feel defeated. So I play this game called Risk, which is like this fun board game where you conquer the earth in it. And I'm really bad at it. And I hate, this is killing me to admit it. I am horrible at this game, and it's frustrating that I'm so bad at it. I lose consistently. I've never won it once. And last time we played it, which I can't play because I do pout a little bit every time I lose. Shame to say, I do pout. But we play the game, and it was 5 of us racing each other, and the goal is to conquer the earth, and I lost to my 10-year-old little cousin. First one out. I was the first one out when she was playing. She took me out. She was the other army that destroyed my army within the first 15 minutes of playing. And I was so mad. I literally went upstairs angry for a little bit before I could come back and watch the rest of the game because I couldn't play anymore because I was already out. But the feeling of defeat was not fun. And that's the thing, guys. Maybe this is kind of funny to talk about losing a board game. But sometimes defeat's not that funny, right? Maybe the last time you felt defeated was when you studied real hard for a test, but you failed. Or you wanted to make a team and you worked all season to get on this team, and then tryouts came and you didn't make the team. Maybe that was auditioning for something or getting first chair. Maybe a crush that you've liked for a long time, you finally got the guts up to ask them out and to try to hang out with them, and they turned you down. These are moments of defeat. These are moments where you feel disappointed, lonely, angry. Those are true moments of defeat that we have. There's also this other layer of defeat, this other type of defeat that you may feel, and I'm going to call these silent defeats. And these silent defeats are the ones that happen to us that we don't really share too much with everyone, but they're inside of us. They're not visible to see. Maybe that is a defeat when you make a mistake that you know you're not supposed to make, or you gossip about someone behind their back and it never comes to, no one knows that you did it, but you know you did it and you feel bad inside that you chose to talk bad about a friend to get attention. Maybe you feel defeated because of looking things up online consistently when you're not supposed to look those up, or watching a movie or watching a type of show that you know you're not allowed to watch or your parents don't approve of, but you do it when you're at your friend's house. And you feel this inner defeat, this shame, this anger, this failure, this embarrassment, That's the defeat that we're talking about. The defeat that's silent inside of us, that mistake that you've made many times and you feel bad that you've made. And this question comes to me when I think of these moments of defeat is, will I ever be able to defeat the things that feel like they are always defeating me? I want to say that again. Will I ever be able to defeat the things that feel like they are defeating me? Guys, you're not alone. I want to tell you that. You're not alone to ask that question or think that question. Or maybe right now it's just coming to you like, I feel defeated consistently by looking this thing about the internet or watching these shows I'm not supposed to watch or saying things about people where I'm not supposed to say things about people. You're not alone in being stuck in that pattern or those moments of being trapped in defeat. We all struggle with it in some capacity. Habits and mistakes that are not good for us feel like they may trap us inside them and like we're stuck there. But guys, I'm gonna take this, and even though I'm telling you everyone feels this and we all have these moments, guys, there is a way to defeat things we're struggling with. There is a way to defeat these things instead of letting them consistently defeat us. There is a solution. And I'm going to take you right into the Bible here, okay? Being Palm Sunday, this is the perfect time to talk about defeat. And you know, like, churches all around are right now talking about Easter, right? Everyone's virtually talking about Easter and what Easter means and talking about Jesus' death, which maybe that's a little weird to you. I've literally thought about this the other day. The fact that we celebrate a holiday where we're talking about the death of someone feels a little strange, but those of us Christians that believe what this represents understand it's more than just the death of someone. It's kind of a way to understand what happened to us as Christians. Jesus is the Son of God. He lived among us as earth, as humans just like us, and then he died for us. Now, when I say that, it may be a little confusing to understand that, right? But guys, I want you to get there was this willingness, and I want to put that statement in your head. There was Jesus' willingness to die on earth so we could be closer to God. Willingness. Jesus stepped out as a human, as a person, and chose to willingly die so we could be closer to God. And that's what we're celebrating when it comes to Easter. His willingness to die for us so we can be closer to God now. So today we're going to look at the book of Hebrews, and we're just going to have one verse today. And I really want you to dig home with this verse and know this verse and kind of really let it soak into you. And it's going to encourage us. Hebrews was wrote as a way to encourage the people of that time to trust in God and trust what was going on. So it's Hebrews 12:2. I have my big old Bible here. You want to take yours out, highlight it so you have this. Hebrews 12:2 says, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Fixing our eyes on Jesus. That's what this is telling us. Fix your eyes on Jesus. Take this moment, take this message when you are feeling those senses of defeat. Fix your eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. So pioneer, you guys may be thinking of some like colonial pioneers, but the pioneer and perfecter of faith is saying he is the one who founded faith. He took that land first. He willingly stepped out to die so we can have faith in God, so we can fix our eye on God. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Willingly stepped out, was the pioneer, stepped out into this death, this scornful, horrible shame that he took for us, so we can now be with God. He sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him, this is 12:3 now, consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. Jesus died so in those feelings of defeat that you have, in those moments of feeling trapped, that you can feel this sense of freedom, this beautiful freedom that Jesus gave. When it comes to Easter, we must know two big things. And the first thing, and maybe you're writing this stuff down, which I think is a great idea to write this down, maybe just on a sticky note. So write down that Bible verse, Hebrews 12:2-3. Write down these two big things I want you to focus on during this Easter season. Jesus died for us, willingly died for us. He endured punishment so we don't have to. So guys, I'm going to show a little clip here. And I'm going to take this nice white shirt here just to demonstrate what this means. And you're going to see what sin looks like when you think about it. And this is just a white shirt that I am going to show you how sins can affect our lives and then how Jesus took that off. So check this out. Feeling of pain, shame, guilt, taking over, covering up, changing your identity, changing your look, making you feel destroyed, broken, hated, unloved. Sin destroys. Sin creates this feeling and this heaviness of just complete destruction. So guys, as you see, that shirt is destroyed. It was cut, it was hurt, it was filled with the sin of the world, the sin of you, the mistakes that you've made. And what Jesus did with that shirt of sin, what he did with that moment of sin, was he wore it for us. He wore it and took the pain, took the suffering, so we can be free, so we can have a clean shirt. Took it off of us and put it on himself so we can be closer to God. So like I said, the first thing I want you to remember at Easter was Jesus died for us. And the second thing I want you to remember at Easter is Jesus died to defeat sin, so sin won't defeat you. That is the statement of freedom, guys. Jesus died to defeat sin. Remember, we talked about this, the feeling of being stuck in that trap of those silent sins, those mistakes that you made, the feeling of defeat when you didn't pass a test, or defeat when your friends don't invite you, or when your crush doesn't respond in the way that you wish they would have responded to you. Those moments of defeat, when we cross those boundaries in relationships that we shouldn't cross. Those feelings of I lost to myself or I lost to the world, when you feel that inner sin, that weight on your shoulder, that shame on your shoulder, we can be free because Jesus took that shirt off of us, took that sin off of us and died for us so we can be free from it. So it doesn't have to hold you back. It doesn't have to keep you down. It doesn't have to have that shame on your shoulders. Jesus died and defeated our sins so we can be closer to God, so we can receive forgiveness, true forgiveness. Now, I think that's something I want to address here. What is true forgiveness? God forgives you for every mistake you made, and it's a complete whiteboard. It's actually more than a whiteboard. If you take a board and I wrote something on it, right, then we erased it, you can still kind of see it, right? And that's how people forgive sometimes. We say we forgive someone, but it's still there a little bit. But that's not the forgiveness God has, guys. That is clean. That is janitor came in, completely wiped it down. You cannot see those mistakes anymore. It's fresh. It's free. It's truly free. Its sin is gone. Its shame is gone. That is what we're talking about here, because Jesus defeated our sin and it wiped us clean of all of it. So even though we consistently make these mistakes, maybe, even though we feel trapped in them, yes, God wants us to overcome them so we don't have those moments of shame. But when we do, we can be reminded that Jesus died on the cross for you. He died on the cross for me. He died so we can have a clean shirt, a clean slate, a fully forgiven life. So we can go to heaven. So we can live in heaven. So we can have this power in our life every day. This understanding of who humans are. Now, guys, I want you to take this in. Because Jesus died, because sin is defeated, it doesn't have to have power over you. It doesn't mean you're going to keep falling into those same traps again. It doesn't mean that you're going to make those mistakes over and over again. It doesn't mean it has to hold you back from being who you need to be. So maybe you're asking, how do I access that freedom? Katrina, you're saying these words, but I don't know what that means yet. I don't know how to get that. I don't feel that. I'm hearing you, but it's not like it's pushing on me. This is how you access it, guys. First, define what's defeating you. Define that thing that's holding you back. Maybe it's one of the things I said. Maybe it's something more. Define that defeat that you have. Then take a step back. Take a step yourself to defeat it. Make a plan. Pray about it. Ask God, hey, I need your help. I need forgiveness of this sin. You ask, you will receive. Ask God to help you remember what He sees in you. God doesn't see the fact that you've made mistakes. He doesn't see them. He erases them. He doesn't see those mistakes that you make. Remember that. So this week and during your small groups, so make sure you're jumping into one of our fun small groups this week. What's one thing in life that is holding you back from accepting that freedom? What's your defeat that's holding you back?